Here we are at the trailhead of Saddle Mountain. I'm excited to take you along on this hike with me. Saddle Mountain is the place where my love for hiking began. In 2008, my brother-in-law brought me up here and we hiked to the summit. Then a few years later, in 2011, I started coming up here in the summers hiking. And then a few years after that, I started coming up once a month and hiking this mountain. I don't know what we'll see along this hike. I know we'll see a lot of really nice wildflowers. But come along, let's hike together. You gotta love the green of the undergrowth. And here we are with the junction with Humbug Mountain Viewpoint. There's really no need to take this trail because you're not going to see any different view than you'll see along the way. So we'll continue on. Here we're coming on our first good view of Humbug Mountain. Just look over this way through the trees. And there's Humbug. Now we're about 3/4 of a mile up on this wonderful ridge line. Starting to see more wildflowers, got some scarlet columbine. Up here further on the ridge line, got some monkey flower. Oh look, here we have a nice patch of wild iris. Okay, we've made it to the 1 mile mark. Okay, here we are. I don't know about you, but I could use a break. Okay, we had our break. Now it's onward and upward. Coming up is one of the interesting features of this hike. We have this rock with a small rock on top of it. And now we're above Humbug. See a lot of the logging that's taking place. I don't know if you can hear those chainsaws. A lot of people complain about the way it looks with the logging, but to me, that's food on the table for a whole lot of families. let's continue on. Right here we have some bristly stem mallow growing. And here's some real nice tiger lily. Not fully bloomed out, but pretty nice. Another good view of humbug. Right here, let's turn around and look at this interesting crag in the rock. In the wintertime, there's some wonderful icicles that form there. There's one last picnic table before we head down into the saddle, but I think we're going to rest a little bit further up here. The trail to the right will take us to the summit, but we're going to take this little spur trail, take a little break. Now on the spur trail, when we get out here a little bit further, right here, we have a wonderful view of the summit. The hike up there is a workout, but it's well worth it. Let's take a break. Okay, we've had our rest, ready to head down into the saddle, but before we do, I want to point out an interesting flower that grows up here. This is called copper brush. And the interesting thing about it, in my Northwest Wildflower book, it said that it rarely grows below the Canadian border, but has been known to grow on Saddle Mountain. So here you go, a unique flower to this area that blooms in the saddle of Saddle Mountain. Here we are headed down into the deep part of the saddle. I want to point out to you, always be careful on this mesh they got on the trail for erosion. There are places where it can trip you up, and if your boots are wet, it can be a little bit slippery. But let's look where we're going. Yeah, it's steep, but we can do it. Okay, let's see if we turn around. Nope. A little hazy over that way, can't see Rainier. Can barely make out St. Helens. Oh, I'm loving that breeze. Here we start into a wooded area. Enjoy the shade because it don't last long. Well, we're out of the shade. We continue onward and upward. I like to call this rock up here Deception Rock, because when you see it you think, oh, when I reach there I'll be just about to the top. Well, truth is, after you reach this point you still have a little ways to go. I hear our friend the white-crowned sparrow. Seems like he's always about in that same spot serenading the passers-by. Okay, just about there. Up these stairs. And we have arrived. Oh my. Can see down to the ocean. Out towards Astoria. Well, it's about time to head back down. I hope you've enjoyed our hike, in spite of the fact that the northwest volcanoes really weren't that visible today. On the way down I'll point out some rock formations and anything else of interest along the way. Here's an interesting rock formation. Not sure what causes this, but also down further you'll see this jagged rock outcropping. It's interesting the way the rocks are layered right there. I believe I just spotted a Claudius Parnassian butterfly here in the parking lot. Here we are back at the parking lot. Hope you've enjoyed our hike, even though we didn't get to see the northwest volcanoes. But we did get to see some nice wildflowers, some rock formations. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let's do this again sometime.